At the end of this video, you will be able to understand how students can submit their assignments, use SpeedGrader to grade a student submission, navigate through Gradebook and change grading settings, and create a rubric to grade student submissions. In this video, we'll discuss how you can grade student submissions in Canvas. Before we start grading, we need at least one student submission in our site. So we'll go through the process of submitting an assignment from a test student's perspective. We'll first go to the summary page of one specific assignment. Then click the Student view in the top right corner of the page. When we have the pink border around our screen, we know that we've entered the perspective of a test student. We can see the assignment we created in video 7, called paper number 1, and its details. You can see that this is the student's first attempt and it's in progress. To submit their work, the student will choose a submission type by clicking the big squares in the middle of the screen. This assignment has 3 options, and we will go with the first option of Upload. Then, in the big box below, the student can upload a file from their local drive or select a file from the Canvas Files folder. I'll upload an example student paper. When the progress bar is complete and the file is uploaded, the student can click the Submit Assignment button on the bottom right. After submitting successfully, the student can see the submission time on the top of the page, as well as a preview of their submission on the page. Then we can click the button on the bottom right and leave the student view. With the test student submission in the system, we can now give it a grade as the instructor. The built-in grading tool in Canvas is called SpeedGrader, and it allows you to grade assignments within Canvas rather than having to download and re-upload them. This convenient tool allows for easier collaboration between co-graders, asynchronous conversation between instructors and students, and should save you time when grading by keeping everything in the LMS. There are several ways to get to SpeedGrader, but we will focus on one right now. If you go into your assignment where you completed the student submission, on the right-hand side of the page under Related Items, you'll see SpeedGrader. Click on SpeedGrader and a new window should open. This is what SpeedGrader looks like for PDF submissions. The submission will be displayed in the left 2/3 of the page, and the right-hand column is where you're able to do the bulk of the grading work. On the top of the screen, the dark blue bar displays some general information and settings. The leftmost button will lead you to the gradebook, which we'll review later in this video. The I button allows you to hide previously posted grades. The options are grayed out now because we don't have any grades yet. We suggest you use this I button sparingly, like to hide grades posted in error. If you want to hide all grades upon entry, you can do that in the gradebook's settings. The middle of this bar shows you the name of the current assignment and how many of the total number of student submissions you have graded. At the top of the right-hand column, you can see all student names, and submissions that aren't graded will be marked with a dot. In the main screen, on the left, is the PDF reader, and the toolbar on the top contains different options for you to use as you grade. The leftmost button allows you to download the PDF to your desktop. The circular icon allows you to rotate the PDF, and the zoom button allows you to zoom in and out of the PDF. And you can also use the diagonal 2-way arrow icon to expand the PDF to the full size of your screen. On the right-hand side of this toolbar, there are some SpeedGrader annotation tools. By default, you are using the selection tool to browse and select. You can use the pinpoint tool to make comments in a specific part of the PDF, and the comment will be saved automatically. The next tool, the highlighter, allows you to emphasize certain passages and leave comments. The text tool allows you to leave typed comments on the page. You can use the strike through tool to X out portions of the PDF and leave comments. The paintbrush tool allows you to draw freely on the page. And the last tool, area annotation, lets you draw a rectangle and leave comments. If you want to select or edit an existing annotation, simply click on the selection tool with the arrow icon. You can click to edit it or click the trash can button to delete it. Now let's look at the right-hand column where you can assign a grade to student submissions. In the top section, you can see detailed information for the submission, including submitted history, hours spent, and word counts. Under Assessment, you can type a number and officially give a grade. Please note that there is no Save button here. As soon as you type in a grade, it will save. In the section of comments for this attempt, you can add comments to the submission attempt, including audio, video, or other file attachments. This can be a good way to incorporate multiple means of representation into your course, so your students are able to receive information in ways that might best suit their access needs. All comments and students' responses will also be displayed here. You can also create a comment library by clicking this dialog icon on the right. So if you find yourself giving repetitive feedback, you can save time by saving those comments and reusing them for relevant student assignments. To exit the comment library, click the back arrow on the upper left corner. When everything looks good and is saved, you can simply close this window and go back to your Canvas course page. Next, we'll show you how to use the gradebook in Canvas. First, let's click Grades in the course navigation. On this page, you can see a big table with each row as one student and each column as an assignment. You can edit a cell to directly give students grades. You can also access SpeedGrader from the gradebook. To do so, navigate to the assessment you wish to grade, hover your mouse on the header cell of that column, and then click the three-dot button by the assessment's name. Then select SpeedGrader from the list of options and it will open in a new window. In the upper right corner, there are buttons of Import and Export, where you can import and export the gradebook as a CSV file. There are also several gradebook settings you may want to change. Find the Settings wheel next to Export, and a right-hand menu will pop out. The first option you will see is for late policies. Under this tab, you can automatically apply a specific grade for late submissions. You can also change the late policy to automatically deduct points from late submissions and set a lowest possible grade. Please note that if you change the late policy using this feature, it will affect all course assessment submissions, including those you've already graded. In the Grade Posting Policy tab, you can choose between automatically post grades or manually post grades. In your course site, you might see the default setting of automatically post grades, in which case the grades will become visible to your students as soon as they are entered. If you'd like to choose when students can see their grades on an assessment, use manually post grades. In the Advanced tab, you can check a box to allow final grade override, which could be useful if you need to adjust a student's grade. If this is enabled, it applies to the whole gradebook, and a column that allows this will appear for the whole course, not just one student. In the View Options tab, you will be able to change the order of how the gradebook is organized, what you can see, and adjust assessment status color indicators. When you finish adjusting your gradebook settings, be sure to click Apply Settings before exiting out of the window. At this point, we want to highlight one best practice for making grading in your course clearer and more equitable for students. This is the use of rubrics. Good rubrics provide clear standards and descriptions for evaluating students, and they increase the transparency to students and also help them better understand your expectations for the assignment. You will have a rubrics tool available in your course navigation menu. This rubrics tool stores all rubrics you have for this course. This is also where you can create new rubrics to use in the entire course or even across different courses. To create a rubric, click the Add Rubric button on the upper right. Then a table will appear for you to write a rubric. First, we can give it a meaningful title, such as Essay Rubric. Going down, each row is a criterion with ratings. You can click the pencil icon to edit a criterion description or a rating. By default, rubric ratings are created as individual point values. Clicking on the checkbox next to Range will allow you to assign a rating for a range of point options instead of just one point value. You can click on the blue plus sign and add more point values or ranges. You can also change the point value for this rubric in the last column, and the ratings will change correspondingly. The blue text Add Criterion below allows you to add a new criterion. When everything looks good, don't forget to click Create Rubric to save your work. Now, going back to the rubrics page, we can see the newly created essay rubric. Once you have some rubrics created, we can easily attach it to a specific assignment, for example, our paper number 1 assignment. First, go to the assignments page and click into the summary page of paper number 1. You can see a plus rubric button here. When you click it, you can either create a new rubric from scratch or find a rubric that already exists. Let's click Find a Rubric in the upper right. In the pop-up window, you can select a course and view rubrics within it. I'm going to select the essay rubric, scroll down, and click Use this rubric. There is one more step if you want to use this rubric for grading. On the right side of the essay rubric, click the pencil icon to edit it, and scroll down to click the checkbox that says Use this rubric for assignment grading. And don't forget to update the rubric. In this way, you will be able to use the rubric in the SpeedGrader. With the rubric attached, students will be able to clearly view the rubric and better understand the standards and expectations of the assignment. Next, I'll show you how to use this rubric in SpeedGrader. I will go to the SpeedGrader by clicking the SpeedGrader button in the upper right. Under the grade input box, we see the View Rubric button, and if we click it, we can see the essay rubric that we made. Because I have set this rubric to be used for grading, now I can simply click on one rating for each criterion. The corresponding score will show up at the end of this row, and I can also add a comment for this criteria by clicking the dialog bubble icon below. After completing grading for all criteria, make sure to click on the Save button, and the total score is calculated and populated to the grade automatically. Students will also be able to see the score and the comments on this rubric.